I'm trying to set it up so I can share it on both sides and I can record it. So give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself set up so that I can be on 2 different cameras at one time so that I can upload this to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and all of that. And I only want to have to do this one time. Yeah, I know how I get down. All right. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to look at both cameras at one time. If you're only listening and not watching, hopefully you can hear me clearly enough. So I wanted to do this video primarily because I see a lot of separatism going on. Like, we have a lot of people that either are 100% for the blessing circle or for what it stands for, or we have people who are 100% against it. And then we also have like that motley of people that aren't necessarily for or against it. They just aren't people who want to be a part of it, or who take it seriously, or who are interested in it, or something like that, which is completely fine. Like everything else in life, there's never going to be a point in time where everything isn't for everybody. I think where we mix things up is where, when something isn't for me, I make it seem like it shouldn't be for you. And I think that is a big problem in the Black community, African American community specifically, because we don't give each other enough space to grow. So over the past Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 days, I have been compiling research. I have been paying attention to a lot of things that are going on online so that I can better suit my followers, the people who believe in what I'm saying, and, you know, people who are interested but don't really know how things are going to go. So what I first want to say is, the first question: do I personally believe, based off of factual evidence and based off of my experience, that the blessing circle itself is a scam? The answer is no. I don't think that it's a scam at all. Do I understand why people might think that it's a scam? Yes, I do understand that. What I want to make sure that we get through this interaction with each other, because I'm not going to be long-winded like I usually am with these topics, because I know a lot of us are already stressed out during this time and we're not, able to sit down and listen to things like this. But let me start at the beginning. So first question: why do I not believe that it's a scam? The way the circle works is it's called a blooming loom, because a loom is like a circle with different pieces, and it only gets bigger, it only blooms if you add more people to it. But the people who are in the center eventually leave, so it's not going to eventually be this massive circle. It's kind of like recycling. Things are constantly coming back in. Now, if a person chooses to rejoin the circle or rejoin the loom, that's up to them, but it's not a requirement. The reason why it's not a scam, because if it's done correctly, this has the potential to change the lives of so many people. One of the groups that I'm in is called Black Girls That Are Spiritual. They're constantly posting in there about ways to manifest new things, ways to better themselves, ways to, elevate their lives. A lot of them are under financial constraints right now. So they always ask the question, like, what can I do to make money? Now, what really bothers me is when people ask a question and then you give them an answer and your answer doesn't fit the answer they had in their mind or what you should be telling them, so then they got a problem with your answer. That doesn't make sense. If you're asking me, how can I make money? And I say, oh, well, you should try this. And your immediate response to me is an attitude, or your immediate response to me is, well, that's not da da da. Well, obviously you don't have the answers, because if you had the answers, then you would already have the money. If you don't have the money, I'm telling you how I think you can get the money, so you don't have the grounds to argue with me about that. That is a problem that we have in our community. We have a problem with asking each other for help, and we have a problem with accepting the help that is given to us. So I got into a conversation yesterday with someone about the basis of the idea of community in the Black community specifically. And it was a few people, it wasn't one specific person, but they kept bringing me back to, well, if you asking me for $100, I didn't ask anybody for anything. At this conversation that I was having, I wasn't asking anybody for anything. And it was a man who was a part of the group that I was talking to. He said that it's hard for them to understand that I'm not trying to sell them something, because for the last week, people have been trying to sell them something. So even if my intentions were 100% pure, their idea of understanding it was like, well, no, you're trying to sell me something. You're trying to sell me some snake oil. But this is my issue. People buy snake oil every single day. People play the lottery every single day. People drive to the casino every single weekend. People take risk on the stock market. People pay into a 401k. So when it's explained to me like, well, it's just too risky, you're living your life risky. So it's not that you have a problem with risk. You have a problem with something that you don't understand. And because we are not the most... we are not people who value education a lot. So when someone says, well, I can explain it to you, it's nothing. Now you're mad at that person because they know something that you don't know. Instead of being grateful that they're offering you that information, you're now responsive. Well, now I got a problem with Suzanne, because Suzanne telling me that she knows something that I don't know. Now I got a problem with Nicole, because who Nicole thinks she is to tell me how to make some money. Well, you did just ask Nicole if you could borrow $100. And she explained to you how you can turn that $100 into something else. So I don't think it's the problem with the circle in itself. I think people just are not comfortable with other people understanding things that they don't understand. And they're not comfortable with being taught a different way of looking at things. Now, I have seen a few people who've had a problem where the person who's in the middle of the circle changed their name, or they changed their Cash App tag, or you sent them the money and then they disappeared. I understand that. That person is a scammer. That doesn't mean that the circle is a scam. That means that that person is a scammer. So then the question is, well, Queen, how do I figure out who it is that I'm supposed to trust and who I'm not supposed to trust? There are 42 million Black people in the United States. If you cannot find 8 Black people that you trust out of 42 million, you need to reassess who you're surrounding yourself with. And I'm not saying that everybody is trustworthy. You can't trust everybody to wash your car. You can't trust every car dealer that's going to sell you a car. You can't trust every job that you go to. You can't trust every man you go on a date with. You can't trust everybody who braids your hair. So arguing with me about who you can trust that's going to send you your money back, I don't understand that mentality. The blessing circle is not for people who do not believe in themselves and people who do not believe in the people they surround themselves with. The main thing is it's a nucleus. If you're not familiar with a nucleus, or you didn't do well in biology, a nucleus is the center of an atom. There's the nucleus, and then there's protons, electrons, and they're all floating around, and they make everything continue to go throughout your entire body. The main problem that we have in the Black community is everybody wants to be a nucleus. Everybody can't be a nucleus. Everybody can't be president. Somebody got to mop the floor. Somebody got to cook the food. Everybody cannot be president. one of the conversations that I had, because I was really doing research on this for y'all before I was going to make a video about it, or before I was going to post it on YouTube or anything like that. I was really trying to understand what the big deal was. And I am not a risk taker. I am not. I am not a person who gambles. I am not a person. If I don't know that something is going to work 100%, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I'm just not that person. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a person that's like, oh man, I get a rush from feeling this. I am not that person. I got introduced into the blessing circle by one of my sisters. If you are not new to my channel, you know that I have 10 younger siblings. I have 6 sisters. And one of my sisters, she felt very passionately about this. And she said, I really think that this is a good opportunity. And I know that she wouldn't put me in a position to lose. I know that about my sister. I know that about my friends. My friends know that about me. So I am never concerned about always being the nucleus of a situation, because the protons and neurons and everything that I surround myself with are always going to be 100. If you are surrounding yourself with 50% people, 25% people, then you are always going to have a problem. It bothers me that every time we try to help each other, we think it's a scam. That bothers me. But you would go and talk to the Asian man at the corner store and you think he has your best interest at heart. You would go talk to the Indian man that runs the beauty supply and you think he has your best interest at heart. You will start a business with the Mexican man because you automatically think that they're harder working. We are holding each other back by not lifting each other up. Somebody told me yesterday that the reason why they don't want to enter the circle because the person at the center of the circle didn't have to do a lot of work, and they do. So they don't want to be the person that has to work. They want to win first before they help somebody else win. Do you realize that if the 42 million black people in the United States all wanted to win first, everybody would always be last? We have to get more comfortable with seeing somebody do well. We have to get more comfortable with lifting somebody up without being lifted up ourselves, because your turn will come. Your time will come. But if you go into a business, or if you go into a partnership, if you go into a marriage, if you go into a job thinking, I have to be the boss 100% of the time, you're never going to succeed. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. Like the head of Microsoft, after Bill Gates stepped down, he had to work. He wasn't born Bill Gates. Everybody is not born a leader. And I'm not saying like, the leaders are better than the followers. Everybody needs each other. And until we as a community can understand that we need each other to thrive, that we need each other to get to the next level, we are always going to be last. Other races are not smarter than us. They're not faster than us. They're not more interesting than us. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying to replicate us all the time. We don't find ourselves interesting. We don't find ourselves smart. We don't find ourselves energetic. Or we don't find ourselves able to unify with things. And the blessing circle to me is only one little speck on a very, very big portrait. This gave me the example that even if it's not, they had people that had dollar circles, y'all. $1. Y'all spend $1 on, I don't even know what, because I know y'all spend y'all money frivolously. Otherwise, y'all wouldn't always be broke. But they had dollar circles just to show people that you could get in and get out, like $1 in, $8 back. You can get in the $8 circle, $64 back, a $50 circle, $200 back. And I was flabbergasted that people were so concerned with holding on to their dollar because they didn't want to give it to somebody else. That is outrageous. And then it's like, oh, okay, Kayla. Okay, Queen, you gave your dollar to your sister. I didn't. I sent my money to somebody I had never even met, strictly based off the strength that my sister said it was okay. Because in my circle, I am not always the nucleus. but I know that the people I surround myself with are not going to put me in a position to lose. If you're telling me that you're spending your time with people and you're spending your energy on people and none of those people want to see you win, that is a problem that only you can solve. The next issue that rose was, well, what if I never get my $100 back? Or what if I never get my $1 back? What if I never get my $8 back? If you go through everything in life thinking, what if something bad is going to happen? It's always going to happen. And that's not even just me on my positivity kick. Like, literally, if you go in thinking I'm not going to be the best, you're never going to be the best. And that's why I said it's not for everybody. It's not for people who are not self-confident. It's not for people that other people don't trust. It's not for people who are not good at spending their energy on positive things. It's not good for people who have negative energy themselves, because you're only going to attract negative energy to the other people. It's not for anybody like that. I had a woman tell me, well, some of the circles start off with negative energy because the people be telling you what you need to do. Everybody's not fit to be a leader. So I'm not saying that every time somebody gets a chance to be in the center of the circle that they're going to lead it in the way that they need to be led. That's not your problem, though. That person is not always going to be in the center. It's my husband, he was apprehensive about it. He's a skeptical type of person. He was like, well, I don't know, Queen. Like, how you know everything's got to stop? The world got to end one day. That mean you're going to stop living today? No. The government's got to fall one day. Does that mean you stop paying taxes? No. And it doesn't have to stop. If everybody just kept not reinvesting as in putting your money back in, people kept reinvesting their energy into us as a people, we would always win. There is enough of us to always win. One thing that other cultures, because America has a warped sense of culture. Other cultures have been doing this for centuries. 6 out of 7 continents of people use this method to buy houses, to send their kids to school, to buy cars, to start businesses. Y'all wonder why you go up the street on Harry Hines and you go to the boutique and it's one family that owns 5 stores on there? You think it's one person that had $1 million just sitting? No. It's your time to shine, uncle. So everybody gonna invest everything in uncle. Everybody in the family sending $100. It's 100 people in our family. So boom, uncle on top. He opens the store. I work at his store. I start making my money. Then they reinvest in me because I want to open this. We don't have the ability to do that, because as soon as it's time for uncle to open a store, we sitting over there looking at uncle. Look at uncle. He think he better than me because he opened that store. He wouldn't even have that store if it wasn't for me. That is a problem. That is a problem. I had people arguing me down. I support black people. I support black people. I ain't got to be a part of this circle to show that I support black people. It's not that you have to be a part of the circle. You have to understand what the circle represents. And then it's 1,000 circles because everybody want to be a chief instead of an Indian. If it wasn't, one of the things people keep on saying is, well, I lost money in a circle because I wasn't able to fill it up. You probably wasn't the person that needed to start it. Period. You probably was somebody who was supposed to come in, but because you couldn't wait your turn and you created another circle, or your cousin did, or your sister did, or whatever, now y'all are stuck because all you have is each other. That's a problem. I've encountered some people with some toxic energy during this time because I ended up on 3 different circles, not on purpose. I ended up on 3 different circles. And a couple of the people were not people that I would necessarily surround myself with, but they were 6 degrees of separation. They were connected to somebody who's connected to somebody else. That's 100% fine. Even if it's something as simple as you get into a circle, you win one time, you cash out one time, and you leave and never think about it again. That act is going to carry somebody so far. And that's what we have to understand. We have to pay our dues as a people. Somebody told me, well, we've been paying our dues. We victims, blah, 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 blah. We were victims. Yes, we still have a lot of problems today. Yes, but a lot of our problems come from the inside. We have a separatist mentality. We have I have more money than you, so I'm better than you mentality. I'm smarter than you, so I'm better than you mentality. I'm light-skinned, you dark-skinned, so I'm better than you mentality. I got this, I'm doing this. We have to stand together no matter what. And if we don't, we're going to always fall. So the bottom line of what I wanted y'all to get from today is, one, it's 100% not a scam. There are scammers involved, but if you surround yourself with people that you trust and that trust you, you won't have that problem. I didn't have that problem. Two, the reason why the blessing circle is important is because it is a very, very small part of a very big picture of us being able to be financially independent within ourselves. Three, it is 100% not an illegal act. It's not illegal. I've had to argue down 5 or 6 people. The news said, baby, the news told y'all that COVID-19 was going to be over last month, and it's not. Period. Why would they even tell us that we are able to be financially free if they want us to continue to be dependent on them? Duh. It's the illegal. What makes it illegal is if you get to a certain amount of money and you don't claim that income, it's tax evasion. So you want to make sure that if you, I think it's $10,000. If you make more than $10,000, you need to make sure you put that on your taxes. That can be the same as if you're an Uber driver, if you deliver food for Uber Eats, if you're a favor driver. They can get you for tax evasion if you make more than $10,000 and you don't claim it as independent income. You're not exchanging bank information with anybody, so nobody is in a danger of getting your account information. Once you leave the circle, you never have to talk to those people again. The other part of one of the ladies who was on the news yesterday, she sent her $8 to somebody and then they blocked her. That's a crime. That makes it a crime. If you promise something to someone and then you run off on the plug, that's a crime. But you know what? Some people getting shortchanged on bags of weed. Are you going to call the police? Because that's a crime. That's what makes it illegal. It's the act is not illegal. People have been doing this for centuries and succeeding. That's all I can tell you. So what was the fourth thing? The fourth thing is, if you do not want to be a part of it, that is 100% okay for whatever reason. You might not have $100. That's cool. You might not have $1 or $8. That's cool. You do not have to spew negative energy onto people who are deciding to try to be financially free. It is 100% free to mind your business. 100% free to keep your mouth closed, because you are going off of things that you think you know. You think you know that it's illegal. That's not true. So when you say that on your timeline, somebody might think you're smarter than them and they're going to listen to you. So that's going to stop that person from opening the door that they need. So don't do that. You might think that it's stupid. A lot of the things that you might do in your life might be stupid, but ain't nobody talking to you about it. It's free to mind your business and it's free to keep your mouth closed. So to let other people decide what they want to do with their time and their energy. The last point, fifth point, I am not an endorser of anything. I'm not getting paid for this. I am only saying, based off of my research and my observation, we are what's holding ourselves back. And I'm not basing it strictly off the blessing loom or anything like that. I'm basing it off of, I've been alive for 30 years, and in my 30 years, every single time a black person tries to get on another black person, make sure that they don't. That's the issue. And it's not because that person is going to get paid because you don't get on. They just don't want to see you do well. I don't get that. I've never had that emotion. I've always wanted everybody around me to win. But if you are the center of the circle and you are reaching out to people to see if they believe in you and they don't, those are not your people. That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I apologize that it took me a long time to come back and make a video for y'all. I have been extremely busy since January. Since January 1, or maybe even before then, since Christmas, I haven't had a time to sit down. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that this gives you answers that you need. I'm sorry that I'm looking at 2 cameras at one time. If you're tuning in on Facebook Live, thank you. This video will be available for you to share. If you are tuning in on YouTube, thank you. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. If you're tuning in on Spotify, thank you for listening. I'll be sure to come back to you with another topic soon. Y'all have a good day.